All right, everybody, we're going to get started here. We're a little bit over. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming. This is the Angry Video Game Nerd panel, which will include his band, Rex Viper. I'm Drum Boy Advance, Bradley Conklin. Nice to meet you guys. We appreciate anybody that came last night. That was a ton of fun. Thank you. I'm so tired. I'm going to introduce first the nerd, James. James. Yeah! All right, it's James Ronald, Epic Game Music. Next we have James Harding, our singer for Rex Viper. Because I can see his beautiful face, Adam Square Painter Shoob. Plays bass. Now we have Dino Leonetti. He's on keys for Rex Viper. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Who could it be? I have no idea. So, if you guys could help me welcome somebody who brings you back to the past. The Angry Video Game Nerd himself, James Rolfe. And hey, he plays rhythm guitar in Rex Viper. Let's be real, that's the big thing. All right, so today, like I said earlier, we're going to be talking spooky stuff. We're going to be talking Halloween, talk video games, movies, everything. We're going to hit it all, so let's do it, man.
All right.
How we doing? James, do you have any underrated horror movies you want to talk about?
Underrated horror movies.
Or video games, you know, let's do it.
Get on the mic. Get you over here.
Yeah, come on over.
Doesn't even have. Oh, underrated horror movies. Well, I was thinking earlier about Taste the Blood of Dracula because it involves a resurrection of Dracula, and they have to use some of his body parts to revive him, as like his the ashes of his blood, the ring, a cape, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's sort of similar to Simon's Quest. So
Yeah.
that would kind of be my underrated game as well, like because they have a tie-in. But I don't know if it's so underrated because obviously I've, been talking about it in videos for decades.
Yeah.
And it has so many flaws, but it's also a really interesting concept. But I was thinking about it a lot today because we were looking at the Nintendo Power art, and they have, not the exact same, but they have a mask that was the same type of mask that was used on the cover of the second Nintendo Power issue, where you see Simon Belmont holding the decapitated head of Dracula. And I think at the time it was actually, they got complaints about that cover.
Of course, it's like the most evil, Nintendo Power that there was.
Yeah.
What, second one you said?
Yeah, it was actually the first one I got, because I think I subscribed with the second issue. I got the first one later with Mario 2. But I always remember that Dracula head, just with the glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
And I guess parents complained about it. I mean, I don't remember anything like that. I mean, when I got it, I just thought it was awesome.
I think I saw you signing somebody's Simon's Quest last night. That's kind of neat.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've signed so many Simon's Quests. I keep wondering, when are they going to be all signed?
Every day, it's all going to say your name on it, right? James Ronald, you got anything?
Oh yeah. All right, so who here has seen a movie called Expo? Raise your hands. One person.
There you go.
Yes.
You and this one person. Let's go.
All right, so if I were to sell you on this movie, okay, so at one point, a woman gives birth to a full-grown man who then bites off his own cord and then washes himself in her sink.
Is this a Lloyd Kaufman? He's here.
No, yeah, surprisingly not. It's a British movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense?
Very. James Harden.
Yeah, it's official. That's how we British people, that's how we like to procreate. Keeps things simple.
Just come out full grown adult.
Yeah, there you go. British man, ready to go.
I've always looked like
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, there's
It's a trilogy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one actually made it to theaters, so there was some momentum behind it. The other two have nothing to do with the first one at all.
Is that a good move?
Yeah, well, it definitely is.
We got the funding, but let's make it a remote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there's some other stuff, like there's a panther in the movie, like there's a toy soldier that gets turned into like a full-grown human and he starts shooting everything. Go watch this movie. You won't be disappointed at all. You know right there.
Panther's missing a thing.
Awesome. Thank you, James.
I once did a review of it a long time ago,
Panther's
and the only reason we did a review, it was, okay, get this, we were working on the Cinemassacre website, and we were organizing the videos. My friend Mike was organizing, he was alphabetizing all the movie reviews, and he was like, you know what, we don't have any movie that starts with X, and I need to make a page just for X. Can we get a movie that starts with X? And I'm like, well, what movie starts with X? And he goes, well, Extro. So we're like, all right, fuck it. And then I get it, and then it's like, wait, there's also Extro 2 and 3. It's like, which, are we doing all? Yeah, we're doing all of them. And that was
All
it.
of them. Let's do it, yeah. James Harding, you got something?
Always for you, Bradley.
Thank you.
I will never turn down an opportunity to talk about the 1977 Japanese movie House, which I'm wearing a t-shirt of right now.
Yes.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, it was something that was supposed to be the Japanese answer to Jaws. There is no logical leap from that to that. They just were like, we'll give you a bunch of money to make the most cinematic thing possible. We're doing blockbusters now, they've got to be thrilling. And so what is more thrilling than the director talking to his 11-year-old daughter about what scares you? And she talks about like, well, sometimes when I am going to get ready for bed and I have to take out the futons, sometimes I'm scared that the futons are gonna eat me. Like the mattresses are just gonna come alive and I'll be suffocated and I'll die. And like that runs through the entire movie. So the premise is that 7 high school girls go to a house in the middle of the countryside to visit one of their aunts. And the house, it eats them. A piano eats them. It's great. It's one of the most insane scenes that you've ever seen. And Severed Fingers start playing the theme. And if you hear the theme tune for this, you have to like exercise it from your body afterwards. It's the catchiest stuff ever. What else happens? Oh, someone's head gets put in a well, and then the head comes out of the well, and then it bites another girl on the ass. So if this sounds like something that you would enjoy, House, 1977, directed by Nobuhiko Obayashi, who sadly recently passed a couple of years ago. Would recommend his entire filmography, but definitely House. It is the most singular viewing experience you'll ever have, I promise. And I could talk about this for 50 more minutes, but we've got other people here.
I'll cut you.
So I'm going to shut up now, Brad.
It's an amazing movie, it really is.
James Rolfe, seal of approval. That's
There
all
it
you
is.
need.
There it is. I'm gonna cut you. I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna do mine.
Okay.
All right. So my spooky movie, mine's gonna be Kindergarten Cop.
Oh.
But hear me out. This is
Hold on, is this too extreme for this audience?
This is, well, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, so. The whole school is I believe it's the first Silent Hill game. Yep. All the posters, the Midwich School is from Kindergarten Cop, so that's my spooky movie. It's not Zoomer. That's all I got. I got no other quotes.
Did anyone see the sequel with Dolph Lundgren?
No, but I need to. I think I've seen the VHS cover. I don't think I've watched the film.
I haven't yet.
Let's do it. Watch party. All right, Adam, what do you got?
So you guys inspired me. I was going to talk about Chud. Have you guys seen Chud?
Bud the
Yeah,
Chud?
that movie's awesome.
The sequel? Or
But
Carnivorous, humanoid, underground dweller.
yeah. But have you guys ever seen Street Trash? Oh, that movie is insane. Like, I love schlocky 80s horror, and one of my friends recommended that to me, and I could not friggin' believe how crazy that movie is. If you ever want to see people play a giant game of monkey in the middle in a junkyard with a severed penis, watch this movie. This is the one for you.
Only quality from Rex Viper and
Only
AVGN.
quality. That is what we bring to you, the finest. So it doesn't really have like much of a plot. There's just all like these subplots going on. So there's a bunch of like homeless guys that are alcoholics, and they go to this one liquor store, and this guy finds like liquor, like bootleg liquor from like the 1930s, like Prohibition era. And it's been sitting in the basement since then for about 50 years. And every time they drink it, it's like the most gruesome body horror of how these people explode or melt. I don't know who did the effects for this, but it's absolutely insane. I friggin' love that movie. Oh, and so the whole subculture of these people that live within the junkyard, there's this one guy that runs it. He's like the head honcho. He's this crazy Vietnam War veteran. And how he dispenses justice, he has a femur, a human femur, sharpened into a giant knife. And if you betray him, you will see yourself on the end of that. It is absolutely insane. Watch Street Trash.
So
Will
great
not be
holiday
disappointed.
flick. Watch it with your family. Great holiday.
Family, friends, kids,
Yeah.
grandparents, definitely grandparents.
You're gonna love it. Your grandma's gonna love it, yeah. Dino, what you got?
Adam, it's funny that you mentioned that movie, Street Trash, people melting, because I was going to talk about a movie called The Stuff.
The delicious.
Anyone ever see that?
Stuff.
Okay, yeah, great, yeah. So, it's about a killer dessert that these two guys drink. They dig it up out of the ground, and one guy doesn't want to taste it, and I guess they finally taste it, and they get addicted. It's like takes over their minds and stuff like that. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some gruesome practical effects where like people's heads are elongating and crap like that, and desserts all coming out of their mouths and stuff. It's really disgusting.
The
It's a
problem
great
with the
movie.
stuff is they made the stuff look delicious.
It really
like,
does.
If you've seen the
wanna
movie.
eat it. It looks great. And there's one kid that just like, he just isn't having it, and just whole family, like kind of a invasion of the body snatchers type of plot there with the perfect family eating this dessert, trying to diet and everything, and they just look like zombies. It's
It has some good effects in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Like the shot that sticks out is when the guy's like mouth is just like gaping open and all the, it looks like a marshmallowy, just like a bubbling marshmallow substance.
It's the station manager from Martin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It looks-
I forget
We're
his
just
name.
talking about this.
Yeah, I know.
We're
Well,
talking about Martin.
We were talking about Martin.
Yeah, like the other day. These are the discussions we have.
Martin
Like,
Lawrence.
I got another one actually.
Cool.
So like underrated, I guess it's underrated. I mean, because the people who have seen it, I think, seem to really like it. It seems to be well received. But Exorcist 3: Legion. Yeah, a lot of you guys seen it? Yeah.
Where Brad Dourif heads at.
Yeah, it's like everything about it is like a recipe for like failure. It just sounds like a mess, but it's done so well.
Yeah.
Like it mainly because of the acting of George C. Scott and Brad Dourif.
so good.
Yeah. So like those two actors are so good in the movie that it just, you can excuse anything weird about the plot. But just give a little background. The book is called Legion. It's not called The Exorcist 3. It's a straight up sequel to The Exorcist. It's not really a sequel per se, actually, but William Peter Blatty wrote it as like the follow up. But it's sort of like another movie, like another story that's set in the same world. And it's connected really only by the detective character, Detective Kinderman. But otherwise, it's a completely different story. It's just in the same continuity. And everything about the plot, like if I were to describe the plot, it just sounds like a rambling lunatic.
You sound like a nut, yeah.
Like I'll give it a shot though. It's like, so like the main villain in it is the Gemini killer. It's the spirit of the Gemini killer, which now inhabits the body of Father Karras, who was the younger priest who jumps out the window at the end of the first Exorcist. Which, by the way, the movie has no business being called Exorcist 3 because Exorcist 2 is completely ignored.
As it should be.
Yeah.
With all the strobe lights and all.
Yeah.
That's why nobody saw 3, because they saw 2 and they're like, there's no way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly why.
They should have just called it Legion, but it probably made more money than called The Exorcist. They even had to write an exorcism into it that wasn't in the novel. I haven't read the novel yet. I plan to. I read the first one. But anyway, so Pazuzu is sort of still behind it, sort of the mastermind of everything, but the main villain is really like the Gemini killer, who is played kind of by Jason Miller as Father Karras, but he switches randomly into Brad Dourif, who is like, who Brad Dourif is the Gemini killer in the same body. By the way, nobody's checked the grave of Father Karras ever since the first.
He's up walking around somewhere.
Yeah, like nobody's like, hey, there's an empty hole in this grave, or like wherever the hell he came from. But anyway, he's in this asylum and he's taken over. He's possessing all the nurses and doctors at the same time. It's just a weird movie, but because the acting is so good, especially Brad Dourif, it's like, it's really well worth seeing.
He plays a good nut.
Yeah. Since we're on the topic of The Exorcist, that movie's been on my mind a lot lately. I think in part because it's the 50th anniversary this year, the original. William Friedkin passed away, director of the original film. Rest in peace. What else? Oh, well, there's also a new movie that came out. I have not seen it yet, so I don't have an opinion one way or another.
Anybody seen it? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Any good?
No, don't do it. I see a lot of mid thumbs. I see middle of the road thumbs.
I see a few of these.
Yeah, a down back there. Yeah. All right, so I'm waiting for streaming.
Yeah. But another thing is that I had, you get those like you're getting old moments, like holy shit.
I don't know what you meant.
Nobody up here knows what.
Oh, not at all. No.
Let's see. So I turned 43 this summer, and sometimes I equate that to the age of like actors I know. So Max von Sydow, when he was filming The Exorcist, Max von Sydow plays Father Merrin. He's the old priest, the one who's like in his 80s.
Yeah.
It's all makeup, in case nobody knew. So. He was 43 when he played that character. So I'm like, holy shit, I'm old. I'm as old as Father Merrin in The Exorcist.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to own this. I need to do something about it. I would love to play Father Merrin. So I decided to work it into the nerd episode for this month. This is... Yeah, you don't mind me talking about the new nerd episode, do you? Yeah, because so it's been like all I've been doing, like the whole month of September, working on this episode. But it's been kind of a bucket list in many ways. Like the game itself is a bucket list. It's a game that I never beat before, despite playing it for 30 years. And hating it so much. But this is the final exorcism of this game. This is the final confrontation of Jekyll and Hyde. I finally fucking beat it!
That's awesome. Congrats. Yeah.
So, I do play Father Nerd as a character in this, and I did legit. I went to a guy I know who does makeup really well. He's also done makeup on. He turned Justin into the Spawn Clown before.
So good, yeah.
It's Joe Lascola of Movie Dumpster.
Yeah.
So he put me through the legit 3-hour makeup process.
In the chair.
Like the exact process of Max von Sydow. So we aged me up to be 80 years old. And this episode is insane. Wait till you see it.
I can't wait.
We got to finish this up. Yeah, we are still working on this. It should be done before Halloween. So you should be seeing it this month.
Well, I mean, some of us did. You showed us like some of the clips. We were practicing before this, like about 2 weeks ago. Me, Dino, and Brad were over at your place, and you were like, "Oh, you got to see the new cuts." And you didn't even tell me what it was. And I had just watched The Exorcist recently, and you showed me the intro, and I'm like, "Oh,
I know
this looks familiar." And you just look at me like, "God damn, you figured that out." It looks amazing. The makeup, I could not believe the makeup job. Shout out Joe Lascola, awesome dude.
So good.
Yeah, the guy's super talented, super nice.
That's
guy,
cool. You
too.
got the 3 hours sitting in the chair experience. Too,
Yeah,
like a real.
Yeah, you would believe what. So like what Max von Sydow had to do and stuff was like, okay, just to explain it, sort of it just from my understanding. I'm not a makeup guy, but having gone through it, it's like you have to stretch your skin in a certain way. So you got to like do like stretch your eye, and you got to do that for like a while, and so you put the latex on, and then you get powdered up, and then blow dry. I might be switching the orders, but basically you dry it. and then after it dries, you let go, and then you get the wrinkles.
You're lucky because
And,
that's my mom told me that's how your face sticks that way. is
Yeah. But
gotta
the
be
greatest
careful.
thing, you gotta stick your fingers in your mouth at one point and like push your cheek out, and you sit there like that, and I'm like, so you're telling me Max von Sydow was sitting there doing this
Every day of filming.
And- yeah.
Like, because any scene.
every day? I mean, imagine doing that like day after day. I mean, there were 2 full days where I was in the makeup, but imagine if like you were on like a show like Star Trek and like you're, Michael Dorn and a Klingon, makeup, and you got to go through that every single day. That's just, it makes you appreciate that so much more.
Think about it, they call you back for a reshoot. You got to sit for 6 hours to shoot one scene, right? Like, crazy. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. You guys looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Very good. All right, I'm going to take us on a tangent real quick. We're getting kind of close to time, but I'm going to take a tangent. So I mentioned Kindergarten Cop, scariest movie, right? Because of Silent Hill. One of the best soundtracks for an entire series, Akira Yamaoka. All those Silent Hills, they're like all my favorites. I listen to them constantly. She's probably really annoyed about it. Do you guys have any video game soundtracks? That's kind of a cheat because this is composed, but even if you have some 8-bit, 16-bit, like, is there anything that stands out for you guys? I can make a playlist for Halloween. What do you got?
I can shout out something. So I mentioned House earlier and how the soundtrack gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
You and I were talking earlier, Brad, about a movie called Deadly Premonition. Has anyone played Deadly Premonition? Yes.
Love that.
Thank you. If anyone's a Twin Peaks fan, it's a huge homage to that. It's by a developer called Swery, who is just this singular guy that doesn't really care if they're a sort of... He's not a frame rate connoisseur or anything like that, He's not going for realism, he's going for surrealism. And the soundtrack for that game is based off just melodies that he and the developers whistled at the composer.
Yeah.
And very, very literally were just like, hey, I came up with this, could you put this in the game? And the moment that you hear it,
Forever.
that will be in your head forever. If anyone who's played Deadly Premonition, you just heard that, I'm sorry for ruining your weekend.
We did our honeymoon in Snoqualmie, and he had gone there on a trip, and it was part of the inspiration for Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we went to the Milk Bar, and as we were driving, she was playing that song. So our whole honeymoon.
It's unbelievable. So if anyone here is a fan of Twin Peaks and of relatively low poly PS2 games, there might be a few of
It's
you
coming
in the
back. People
audience
do
that-
enjoy it.
Hey, I love it. Could not recommend enough. Love it.
Absolutely. That's a good one. And the second game was great too with the soundtrack. He did a trip to Louisiana. The game takes place in Louisiana. It's all inspired, same thing, but I heard the same thing where they went to the composer and kind of whistled and hummed in it.
A lot of side quests in that one where you're just hitting bees with baseball bats.
Yeah,
so
that's kinda
that's the
weird.
sort of action you like in your video games. I recommend.
Absolutely. What do you guys got? Any other soundtracks that stand out?
Well, most modern horror soundtracks are very in service of the horror. They're just
Ambient.
when something happens,
Jump
right?
scare.
So I guess the older stuff, Friday the 13th, right? That has one really good banger, but it's such a banger that you can't get it out of your head. The cabin theme.
That cabin theme, yeah.
I love that song.
You kind of touched on that last night when we did Man Behind
just
the
a little
Mask.
bit. That was the intro to
I
Man
saw
in the
it. I
Mask.
heard
Yeah,
it.
just a little sprinkle of it.
I heard it.
Yeah, that was totally new too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something obscure, but I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can only think of Castlevania right now, and
That's we're always here. That's a good one.
Why didn't I say Castlevania?
Yeah, but which specific track? So there's because some of these tracks kind of have different names. I think it's called I think it has a name called Heart of Fire, which we cover Hearts on Fire. But I was looking at songs to cover, and not by the name or not, but just well, to be clear, every song from Castlevania, probably every game song has been covered.
And I want to
already,
cover
but-
everyone.
Just to be
Essentially
clear.
its own genre at this point, right? It's so singular to the horror movie, horror game, genre.
For sure.
Yeah, but you listen to that track, Heart of Fire on Castlevania, the first Castlevania, and it's just like, it goes through all these changes, and it's kind of spooky, but it's also very like uplifting. It's like you're trying to rush through this level and like, you know, stay alive, and it has that sort of Rex Viper motivation kind of feel. So
Absolutely, yeah.
it's on the list with like 1,000 other songs that we're going to eventually get to sometime.
It's for a tough level too. I think it's like the third level with the jumping. So I think that's when it kind of kicks in with that song. So third or fourth.
Yeah, I
What do you
forget
got?
which one exactly, but yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Adam?
Switching it up, we're talking about video game soundtracks.
Hit me
I thought we were
with- yeah.
talking about just
That's
underrated
what I actually
games. I mean, well, one for
You can do that as well. I mean, we're coming up on time. I just.
All right, we can do that. You guys ever play the PS2 game Manhunt? You guys ever played that? Yes. All right. Yeah, I got someone back there. That is one of my favorite games ever, just for how over the top it is.
Manhunt 2, I'm sorry.
That one's over.
That's okay.
Go back and play the original.
Security.
Out. The soundtrack for that is just all ambient. Sounds very, very 80s, but you should check out that game too. It is it is a stealth a murder simulator. It is so over the top and insane. You should check it out. But the soundtrack for that is all this strange like 80s synthy swell ambience that fits within the game too, and it is absolutely terrifying. You feel like you're being hunted the whole time.
Surprisingly landed on Wii.
Yeah, wait,
Incredibly violent game on the Wii.
Manhunt 2 ended up on the Wii. Yeah, with like the
Manhunt
motion
1, yeah.
controls for like how brutal you're murdering
Yeah,
people.
you actually have
on
to
the
shake
child
people
System.
and-
Like,
Rough.
Here, client.
but you should check it out on the PS2.
Absolutely. Dino.
Oh, did we talk about Sweet Home actually?
Didn't touch on Sweet Home.
Yeah, you can help me out a little bit because I mostly listen to the music. I haven't even
Yeah, I'm a
seen
music
the
guy.
movie.
Well, yeah,
No,
talking
no, that's
about
not true. I didn't see it. That's the other one.
yeah, talking about sort of movies and video games in the horror genre. Dino and I were talking earlier about this movie video game sort of tie-in combo called Sweet Home from Japan in 1989. That actually the video game of it ended up being the inspiration for the Resident Evil franchise. Yeah.
And the music from that original Nintendo game is very nice. It uses some extended sound chips to make the music even better.
Capcom.
Oh, very cool.
Was it?
It was a Capcom game, yeah.
Right, so that's why the soundtrack is so good.
Super good.
Yep, that's it.
And the movie is directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa, who did Cure and Pulse. So if you like your spooky stuff, Sweet Home, 1989.
So just want to say this is the first time the whole band has been in Portland, and
Yes.
Thank you, guys. That's very nice. Thank
It's
you.
a
thank you,
beautiful
thank you.
city.
I've been here before.
I'm feeling it.
Shout out to Movie Madness.
yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a little bit of significance of Portland to the band. So way back, Justin and-
Pre-era of
yeah.
2019.
And like, because I've always wanted to get like a serious band going, and I always had to like kind of work it in naturally and just kind of find other people who wanted to play with me. And I was talking with Justin and Kieran a while back about this band called Power Extreme we were going to do, and then we kind of talked about it for a while, but then a couple years go by, whatever. Then so 2019, we're at the Portland. Me and Adam and Nina and Rob, we're at Ground Control.
Ground control.
Well,
You got
yeah,
it.
well,
Ground control.
you were signing, and then me and my lovely partner Nina, who's right here, me and them sell art at a lot of cons. We weren't selling that year. We just came to hang out, and then you guys.
We went
were
to
here.
Guar. Okay.
Yeah.
Guar
The four of us went to see Guar. That
Yeah.
year.
Guar is
It was amazing.
inspirational for music.
Yes,
So.
that
feel
may
that.
have been it. So
It
we're
was.
We're talking about like bands and costumes and stuff, I guess. But with
It was
the
in between
conversation-
sets. Yeah, we're at the bar.
Yeah, I guess it was in between after the first band, Sacred Right,
Right,
which was
right.
like a thrash metal band. Right after that and before Guar, I guess we started talking about it. But the conversation moved over to a Ground Control, and I was just like, yeah, so like thinking about starting some kind of band with like retro games and movies.
Pretty much like
And-
just
and
one
we're like-
big love letter to everything
Yeah,
that
I'm
like
telling-
makes us us.
Yeah, so I'm just telling it to Adam, and Adam goes, why the fuck are we not doing this?
That is probably exactly spot on what I said.
It's a good
What
impression.
the F, why are we not doing this?
He nailed it.
And he was like, well, I play bass, let's get something going.
Let's do this.
So it's fair to say, in some sort of way, Rex Viper was sort of born here in Portland.
Right here in
We
Portland.
actually, we were at ground control the other night. And you found this is the table we were
This is
sitting
the
at.
spot.
This is where I was sitting and you were
But this
sitting.
time with the whole band, that
Right.
it took us a Friday the 13th and a solar eclipse to get
That's
here.
Right, that's right. We made it out.
But
All right.
it's pretty amazing just that 4 years ago, almost to the day, because it always was the second week in October, that
If you saw War, it was October.
me and you were just sitting there just conceptualizing what this band could be, and now we're sitting here with 4 other incredibly talented people
Thank
up
you.
here with us, and we played the other night, and thank you so much if you came to that.
Yeah, thank you.
So
There were a lot of Jasons in the crowd.
Yeah, it was awesome, right?
Yeah.
I was trying to get as many Jasons as I could. I was like, hey, mid-set, we're gonna, I kind of spoiled the surprise a little.
Yeah, that was scary.
It was great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, thank you for everybody who came to that and who came to this here and the whole con in general.
Absolutely. Thank you guys very much. James will be over in the autograph room after this.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys so much for being.
Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and to the right are a few more videos from the Portland Retro Gaming Expo 2023. Thanks for watching.